Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the very first ever Tna Mafia Radio, Volume 1. It's your motherfucker chef. I got two amazing guests, not even a guest, my co host, the one and only the Tna Mafia First Lady. I'm going to let her introduce herself. Go ahead.
What's up? What's up? It's Shorty from Queens, New York. TNA fan, holla at your girl.
And then I have also the man himself from the ICW Off the Hook podcast. Introduce yourself, brother.
Hey, how's it going? This is the Doc from ICW Off the Hook podcast. Honored to be here.
All right. So I want to do things a little differently. I want to send a few shout outs. Usually do shout outs at the end. First and foremost, my family over in the Heelcast, my man Raven Effects and TNA Dude, brother underscore, much love to them. Andre Corbiel, Nonstop Sharia, your TNA guy, my brother Karma, Robert Does Wrestling, my man TNA Vault, my man Kyle from the Daily Impact and King of the Mountain podcast. They're doing big things over there. If I forgot you, oh no, of course, my people Dead Spray, Mac. Let's see who else is there. I got so many names in my head right now that I'm stuck. I'm gonna shout you out in a minute later anyway, so I got to get a whole bunch of people on here. Tna Mafia Canada, my man Jones. You know what? Fuck it. I'll get back into the shit later. Let's get into the damn show. We're gonna start off with Senior Benjamin and Vanguard One. They're doing the whole no robots was hurt. I don't know animals were injured or some shit like that. The man's kicking his
No,
Spanish or whatever. Um, no, I'm just keeping it real. He's doing his meet thing. So, you got Rebby. The show opens up really with Rebby playing the piano. It's a real good look. You got, Jeff Hardy with the fireworks and all that shit. Man, you know what? I try not to pay too much attention to Matt Hardy because lately he's been getting on my nerves with all his So I'm like, whatever with him. I know that I think it started after that. They had like the news anchor people. They come off and they're like, Cameron, North Carolina people are advised to not come out. And I thought it was hilarious. What do you think about everything that I just finished saying? Tna Mafia First Lady.
I thought it was hilarious because I turned it on, and then when the newscast part came up, I had to look twice. Like, what the hell? And then I was like, oh, it's part of the show. It was hilarious.
Yo, Doc, man, you gonna answer because you go after her.
Well, I mean, I thought you had a little bit more to say, but I was on Twitter and I was scrolling through my Twitter and I saw this news thing on TNA Impact. I could have sworn it said CNN. It's like, oh wow, CNN's promoting the Apocalypto. I was kind of shocked, and then I watched it a few hours ago, and I realized it was a fake news station. So they got me there. Great job, TNA, on that.
Okay, so everybody was feeling that. That's cool. Let's jump right into the show. The Hardys, they came down, and I think it was Senior Benjamin, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy. They entered the Dome of Deletion. Honestly, I didn't like all the talking because it just felt like he was rambling and rambling and rambling. And thank God Spud interrupted. Because to me, it just sounded like a whole lot of gibberish with the whole, Apocalypto, and then you had all the marks in the crowd, the 50 marks going delete, delete, delete. I really like Spud really sandbagging everybody. He's like, I don't like your kid, I don't like your wife, I don't like Senior Benjamin. I forgot what he basically said about like Cameron, North Carolina, but it was kind of like a bad water Cameron, North Carolina, something like that. He really took a lot of shots at all the Hardys, which I thought was hilarious. Then Matt Hardy's like, oh, we're going to have a no disqualification match. If you want to be the first victim to, Maxwell's, Impact debut, let's make this happen. I will say this, though. As much as I thought this was going to be extremely stupid, because what does a fucking 1-year-old child have to do with fucking wrestling? I really dug the little kid's entrance. Coming in his little, I think it was like a Mercedes-Benz truck or whatever. Mom Dukes is standing behind him. I thought it was a really cool look. Uh-oh. Oh shit! This thing just went off and then it came back on. My fault. Technical difficulties. This kid didn't tell me how his laptop works. So, anyways, uh, Senior Benjamin winds up being pretty much the factor. He freaking tases little Spud in the back. Spud goes down. Maxwell gets the pin. He's 1-0 in his Impact career. Thank God it was really short. I didn't want nothing dragged out because I didn't want to take nothing away. It was funny. Thank God I was completely wrong about this. So now it's off to you guys. Go ahead, First Lady.
I was glad that someone finally got at the Hardys because everyone's always jumping on the bandwagon about how awesome their new personas are, and it was kind of it's getting tired. So it was cool that he was dissing everybody. Maxwell's entrance was pretty badass for a little boy. And the only difference was it was Senior Benjamin and not Rebby, but they always have the same thing going on. It's either Rebby who's interfering in the match. Now it's Senior Benjamin. It's kind of tired too, but it was cute. It was short. It worked.
From my standpoint, I like the fact that, as you guys said, I agree with both of you on the Rockstar Spud dissing the Hardys, and I thought the entrance was pretty cool. I kind of get what you're saying, First Lady, but at the same time, what is a 1-year-old child really going to do? Rockstar Spud, all he really do is kick him, and I like the fact that Senior Benjamin did interfere because he really doesn't interfere very much unless it's with these Total Wars or the leader decays. So I was pretty happy to see him actually once again get TV time.
But you're like a huge Senior Benjamin fan, are you not?
I am.
And you have been seen at the Impact Zone or Zone of Impact with the Senior Benjamin sign, have you not?
At Bound for Glory, yes.
Yes, you have. Okay, now that we officially established that you're like Senior Benjamin's #1 fan,
yes,
we can move on.
2017.
2017 what?
Benjamin for world champ.
Wow. Yeah, okay. All right. Then we have Bobby Lashley coming out of his badass ride looking like a champ. This is what, ladies and gentlemen, this is what a champion looks like. This is the guy who looks like. No, why are you laughing? If you really look at this guy, it looks like if he really wanted to, he could pick up his fucking car and hit you with it and be like, take that.
You're saying he's the Hulk?
You know what? That's exactly what I'm saying.
He's saying that he's going to say, toma, toma, toma.
In a nutshell, take that. You know what I mean? So, Lashley, he comes out of his car. He's looking around like, damn, what bog neck of the woods am I in? Now, I have said this for a little while, and you marks have gotten upset. I have said that the people who follow and like Eddie Edwards were a bunch of fucking Twilighters. You know what I mean? And then stop laughing. And what happens? Where does Eddie Edwards come out of the fucking woods like he's Taylor Lautner, you know what I mean, on this wolf shit? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Is this wolf shit way too hard body?
All I'm saying is this played into what I said. For all these emo fans, and like I said, and this is probably like the 100 and something time I've said this, Eddie Edwards is an amazing dude outside of TNA. He's great to his fans. He's great to kids. He's taking pictures. He's kissing babies. He's that really nice fucking guy. All I'm saying, in my opinion, is he completely bores me. And if you've seen one Eddie Edwards match, you've seen them all. He never does anything new. But I'm not going to start ripping into him because he's a good dude. So you got this guy coming out of the woods like a Twilighter. Then you have the Helms Dynasty arrive. They're with the lady Daisy Fuentes from, I think it was Channel 7, whatever news it was. They're in the back of the truck like some serious rednecks. These guys were really bugged out. The Hurricane Shane Helms, he's like, we're here for the apocalypse, so blah, 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 get out of the way. We're coming to do our dizzle. And these guys are like, woo, 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 let's get it in. I thought it was really, really cool. Then it shoots over to the Rock and Roll Express or the Rock and Roll of the senior citizens. You know what I mean? Like these guys, they were doing it. Huh?
They weren't that. They were like maybe in their like mid-60s. They're not that old.
Did you just say they were in like their mid-60s and they're not that old?
I did.
I don't even
Is
know
that what
where
you
to
said?
touch that. I mean,
We'll get to why I said that later on when the apocalypse happens.
Okay. I just thought that being like 60 in wrestling is old. But
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I don't even know how their bodies can take that jumping around.
I mean, hey, if Doc feels a certain way, that's him. But so they come in. Basically, Matt Hardy's like, hey, would you like some green beans, some prune juice, whatever? The other guy's like, oh yeah, I like eating healthy. The other guy's like, hey, yo, dude, give me a brewski. You know what I mean? So I thought that was really cool. Like I said, they're a tag team from the '80s. That's it is what it is. They're just two old dudes. Um, Next thing you got Sienna in ring. She declares herself the number one contender. Now I'm hoping that all this is the end of what me and someone on Twitter decided to call Billy Corgan is bad booking Billy, Triple B, because he was the guy who said you got to earn your way. You can't just do this. You can't just do that. Sienna just declared herself as the number one contender, and pretty much that just happened. You know, so she declares herself the number one contender. She challenges anybody, anything in the world. Vanguard One comes out. He's flying around. She's trying to knuckle him down. Referee, he's like, you got to get out of here. Vanguard One's like, you can't kick me out, bro, broski, whatever he says. He gets shot out. It's like, yo, VG1, peace, God. Then they do the count. If someone doesn't come out, she's automatically a number one contender. He starts counting down. Let me ask you, Doc, because I know you're a fan of this former knockout. Do you want to talk about this match?
Yeah, speaking about this match, throughout the ODB, I feel got robbed of the match because of who was that referee?
I don't fucking know. Some noob.
All right, some new. Basically, Vanguard One flies down when Sienna gets a chair, and ODB counters it with a forearm, and she does. What was that move called? It was like a finisher. What was it called?
Who? Sienna? ODB's?
Yeah.
No, ODB just hit it. Remember, she did the forearm. The chair went to her face.
Yeah, but then she did another. She did her like newer finisher.
Oh man, I don't remember the name of that. I didn't even write it down in my notes.
Well,
That important.
she hit her. ODB hit Sienna with the finisher. Vanguard One comes down. He counts on the lovely electronic screen. It says 1-2, and the stupid idiot referee decides to pull Vanguard One out of the ring and has an argument with a freaking robot.
Well, he did tell him that he's a referee. Look, he has the stripes on.
Unfortunately, Vanguard One should have like shocked him or something.
Well, okay, go ahead.
And then Sienna would capitalize, do her silencer, I believe it's called.
Yeah, well, first she hit her with the chair.
Oh, that's right, the chair to the back, and then the hit the silencer, defeating ODB 1, 2, 3, because ODB's back was turned with her little whiskey can in her hand, and she had a silencer to be defeated by Sienna.
Okay, I thought you were, because I know you're an ODB fan, so I thought you were going to kind of throw in her barbecue sauces and her previous employment.
I was getting to that.
Oh, okay, go ahead. My fault.
Speaking, by the way, Sienna has a awesome barbecue sauce.
ODB.
ODB, my bad. ODB has a great barbecue sauce. I think you guys should try it. If you were to put it, I'm gonna use a line from JR. If you were to put it on a leather boot, you'd love eating it. I'm not even joking. It's that good.
Okay. First lady, what do you think?
First off, she bugged me out because that was the first time I had seen her. And all I could think was I wanted to throw a pair of pants on her. The cellulite was out of control. I don't know what the hell she was smacking her tits about. It really was disturbing. And it took away from the match, but that's just my opinion. Because I had never seen her before. Apparently, that's just her thing. She's kind of crude.
Yeah, ODB for the past 6 years in TNA Impact. Well, not 6 years. I'm going to say like 8 to 9 years was when she's been wrestling in TNA Impact. That's one of the things she does. She takes a good old thing of beer or whiskey, smacks her tits around, and kicks some ass at the same time.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was seeing it with
and
so
she goes,
telling
she
me
goes,
it's a thing, and I was like, oh, okay.
yeah, she goes, boom. You know what I mean? Like that's just ODB. I mean,
I mean, she's funny.
I want to tell her what ODB stands for?
Oh God, I forgot.
Old dirty
Is
bitch.
it like? There you go.
Makes a lot more sense. No, but I
All
thought
right.
overall she was pretty cool. Like I mean, she had some moves in her, definitely, but I don't know. I don't know. Sienna's getting out of control too. But again,
What do you mean?
like it's back to what you were saying about Billy Corgan is booking real poorly.
Yeah, so hope this is what we've been saying with the redundant booking and only focusing on a few people. You know, we're kind of hoping that this is the end of the bad Billy booking. So I thought you guys were going to talk about how ODB cleaned Vanguard One's lenses.
No, I'm good.
Pass.
But speaking about the Billy Corgan era, I'm gonna call it that. Billy Corgan, this last month, the booking hasn't been as great as I thought it would have been. I feel like Billy Corgan really did rely on the Hardys this month, and especially Bound for Glory with their highlight being the Great War. Don't get me wrong, that was one hell of a match. It was great, but Billy Corgan, not a fan of.
I couldn't agree more. It's just getting weak. It's like the same matches over and over and over and over constantly. It's like so redundant to the point of stupidity.
Speaking about the same matches, we've seen Bobby Lashley versus our your world champion Eddie Edwards about 5 times already in about 6 to 8 months.
Well, don't call him my world champion. I don't give a shit about him.
Well, the TNA Mafia, I would assume that it's the TNA fans world champion.
Well, everybody got their own opinions, but anyway, let's not jump off the
Well,
things, right? You know, I will say this: Vanguard One got a nice boob job. Um, the Helms Dynasty, they're I don't even know where the hell they are. I'm not even going to say where they are. But at the Helms Dynasty, you know, they come across Matt Hardy. They're once again, you know, doing their whole, you know, we're going to end this where it started, North Carolina, blah 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 blah. Scribe comes in, the fat dude who does the delete check thing. He starts writing his little, you know, segment or whatever. Um, I don't know. I'm really tired of the broken era thing because TNA ran it in a hole. They took away from the special aspect of the Hardy compounds. You know, every few seconds, Matt Hardy's yelling with it or delete or all this other shit. So I'm hoping that 2017 may be the end of the broken Hardys. Like maybe you know he can go back to Matt Hardy and Jeff goes back to Jeff. Um, you know, whatever. Um, then we have the debut of Itchweed, and Itchweed comes in on what I think is a lawnmower or some shit, doing his crazy laughing. He enters the Dome of Deletion. His first match is against some guy, Chet. I don't know what the hell this guy's first name is. I know it starts with a CH, Sterling. Um, Itchweed going to sleep, like when he put Sterling into the sleeper, and he started going to sleep himself. And I think the reference was that Itchweed's like a narcoleptic. I'm not sure, but you know him falling asleep. The crowd actually were pretty funny with the chance of wake up. I wasn't too crazy about this match. It was funny. I like Itchweed. I like the whole character from Jeff, but this guy was like the ultimate jobber. Like he really got like no kind of moves off. So it was just a funny little segment. Pretty much, I didn't even find it really a match. The guy didn't do anything, so it's it was just a mugging. Um, he had the putting to sleep. He put him through the table. Then he did his little not lawnmower, weed whacker. Shaved them up real quick. Like I said, I wasn't too crazy. Besides the fact that it was funny, yes. But if I'm watching wrestling, I want a match, and the guy literally just took a beating. So, First Lady.
Ah, come back smooth.
Come back
All
to
right.
you.
Uh,
Go
all
ahead,
right.
Josh.
Alrighty. I agree with the chef. I still considered it a match. It was an official booked match. I do find it funny when he's like spazzing out and twitching around in the ring. I do like the fact that they kind of had that weird type of tint on the screen when he was having his weed whacker and cutting off the shirt. I actually do kind of want to see a little bit more of Itchweed in 2017. I think that would be a pretty funny character for Jeff Hardy. Like, say if he like lost his memory or something, and something weird where he became Itchweed for like a month.
Yeah, I could see that. That'd be a lot of fun just to mix it up a little bit. Cause he's a pretty funny character. I thought it was cool when he buzzed up his shirt. Like, oh shit, okay.
That's it. That's all you got, First Lady.
Yeah. Other than look, I thought it was funny, but I didn't think it was like a big part of it. Like I was just like, all right, cool.
Well, I mean, for like the whole Itchweed character, you've seen him on a whole bunch of you've seen him on that Halloween special when he was cutting the grass. I don't know if you've seen what that logo looked like, but I thought
That was
that it was pretty dope. And so yeah, I really hope to see a lot more of Itchweed. It was a great match.
I think they have to do it. They have to do it smart though. You
Oh,
know,
I agree.
they can't keep like throwing him in there. The way they incorporated him this time was cool because they just brought him out of like left field because he hasn't been on in a bit.
Well, I mean, what they did was that they in the beginning of the show when they were doing the interviews, that's who they were interviewing, Itchweed.
Right.
So they really brought him along in, and then he made his way past the mountain, and I thought it was a good way to start to
No,
start.
what I mean more is how they get one persona and then they run it in a hole and then you go to the next and they run it in a hole. If they keep throwing them in here and there sporadically, it'll work well.
See, the thing is that you guys said it's ran to a hole, but for TNA, when one of your big things has been the broken era, and it's working, I don't see why it should stop.
Okay,
So,
well.
so the
My
way
thing.
I feel about that is it really working? Who is it working for? Just the Hardy fans. That's it. Because for the
but
rest of
yeah,
us,
but here's the thing: when,
pretty
when you when you go into that impact zone, and I know Chef can agree with me on this, does not the entire crowd sit there and put their arms out and say delete, delete, delete?
Absolutely, but what I'm going to agree with is what she's saying is that this now, granted, I know they're going to get a whole lot of people who viewed in for total nonstop deletion because it was a big thing. But what she's saying is this would be so much more special if they might have done it every other week. You know, every week you've seen them in the Hardy house. Every week, it's the broken guys, the broken guys, the broken guys, the broken guys. And it's kind of like I'm not gonna go like how I kind of did my first rant on my first thing, just a rant. But you can't just keep throwing shit down your throat and thinking that it's gonna stay cool. Because if you keep doing that, eventually people are gonna be like, damn, we've been seeing this shit. Like they can't do another total nonstop deletion. They can't do another, great war for a little while. We've seen these over and over and over again. Let things kind of simmer for a little bit. And I think maybe if you do it once a year, now I know their contract's coming up in February, nobody knows where they're going, but if they wait and they do this as like a massive pay-per-view, kind of like a second Bound for Glory, this could be fucking epic.
No, I
see,
agree.
part of the problem too is like when they did the Great War, it was pretty epic. It was pretty awesome. The fireworks and all of that. But now every time you see them at the Hardy compound, they're throwing off fireworks. Like, can't you leave something to be special for a certain event? Can't you come up creatively with something else? Like we've seen it. The only thing different from the Great War and this pretty much were the cranes and they got a volcano now.
And the train.
The train. That's right, at the train.
Right.
All right. So, okay, we're let's not sound like a bunch of TNA bashing motherfuckers because we love
No,
TNA.
we're not.
So then it goes to the Hardy flashback, which I don't understand why it did that because that was for the Great War. But what I will say about the flashback that every time I see that, it just makes me think Smoking Joe Frazier is one of the most fucking coolest characters. It's not even a character, it's a fucking kangaroo. But if you look at him, that motherfucker looks jacked up. Like, he looks like, he should be checked for steroids or something. Like, he looks brolic, you know? And when Matt sits there and he's like, Smoking Joe, are you ready? And the kangaroo shaking his head like, I'm about to beat the bricks off of Jeff. Jeff is looking like, oh, this little motherfucker's crazy. I think, was it George Washington? I think he said it was, stole Rebecca's hat. That was okay. Who else did you have? Yeah, Genghis Khan, the lion or tiger or, whatever the hell he is. Then you had the Spot Monkeys, which you had Mandrews, Andrew Everett, DJZ, the Young Bitches. It was pretty cool. So you had the flashback, it was cool. Like I said, somebody check, Smoking Joe Frazier for steroids. Then we have Lashley enters the Dome of Deletion to boos from the marks in the crowd. This kind of annoyed me.
Mm-hmm.
I swear to God, it annoyed me because it just seemed like these people just booed against every heel. Like, everybody that wasn't a good guy. Like, there's not like one person that's 50-man crowd that can, at least one.
Well, see, going to that, when they're 50 of Matt Hardy's like closest friends and everything, well.
All right, you know what? Good point. But whatever, it still annoyed me because I'm like, make things kind of fair. You know what I mean? Like, hey, when I'm in the Impact Zone, I got to battle hundreds of people to boo the good guys. I do it. I don't care what people think.
Well, you have that heel Team 6 group.
Heel Team 6, baby.
And yeah, I mean, I think me and you have both had those similar experiences. And yeah, we do battle the hundreds and thousands, but at the same time, the louder we are, the more louder they are. So it's always a consistent war.
Yeah. So, Lashley comes in, he gets booed, he's like, whatever. Eddie Edwards comes in, he's feeling the crowd. Obviously, they're cheering for him. They're like, Eddie, yeah, congratulations. Honestly, and I know I sound like a straight up Eddie, Jesus Christ, like an Eddie Edwards hater. I know I sound like a hater, but every time this guy wrestles, I just get more and more bored. You know what I mean? Like, he was throwing so much down my throat in a few days being at the Impact Zone that I'm like, yo, please just finish this fucking match, win, lose, draw. I don't even care anymore. Just do what you got to do. The one thing I'm going to say about Eddie Edwards that I did like is that Eddie Edwards used the crowd to his advantage. And I was like, oh, wow, that was pretty smart. Even though, once again, anybody who tells me that this match was any different than any other Eddie Edwards match is full of shit. You know what I mean? So you have Lashley. Well, I don't know if you guys pay attention, but if you seen when he like pushed that fan to the floor, that was hilarious. Lashley was kind of taking shots at the crowd. He even picked up Eddie Edwards like a sack of shit. Power bombed him, tossed him, whatever you want to consider it, into the crowd. He eventually speared him through the Dome of Deletion, which was pretty freaking insane. My only thing that I'm going to, and I don't want to keep talking about this match, is because, yeah, it escalated to different parts of the show. And, at one point you had him with a volcano thing. And then at one point you had him outside, like right in front of the Hardy house. There was no winner to this. You know what I mean? So it was like, was this even a match? Because nothing came out of this. How do you people feel about this situation?
All right, the way I feel about it is absolutely on target to what you're saying. There was no clear definition of if this was even a real match. This just looked like a free-for-all. I mean, every time you turned around, they were coming through the woods, through the wall. Like, it was nuts.
It was good to me. I felt that it was okay. I didn't really understand the point of it between the fake Taylor Lautner or the wannabe Taylor Lautner and Bobby Lashley, but I think it was a good a good brawl. Believable.
Believable? I mean, let's be serious. That's like, I know nobody knows what I look like, but I'm like 110 pounds. That's like me fighting Mike Tyson.
Well, I mean, what I mean by believable is, I mean that the social aspect of the interaction between the wrestlers and the fans were believable.
No. I mean, I understand the role TNA is going with Eddie Edwards. You know, kind of being the smaller guy going against the bigger guy. I mean, I get all that. But, and I'm not saying it's not believable or it's not believable, because look, I've been in fights, I've fought people bigger than me, and I've knocked people out. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not trying to act like no super tough guy or nothing. I'm just saying they have booked Eddie Edwards so poorly. You know, and this is what I keep trying to tell people. He's been booked so bad that it makes his reign look even worse, and it makes him harder to watch because his reign has been that bad. So he does this. It was a good little brawl, but at the end of the day, was it really even a match?
Yeah, you can't call it really a match. I don't even, was there even a referee?
Yeah, there was a ref.
Where did he go during this?
My point. Well, amen.
where was the actual official here? All right.
Well, no, he was in the dome of deletion.
Okay, so you mean to tell me in a match, it don't matter where you go, that there's not a ref somewhere?
Well, I mean, I guess since Vanguard 1 could count, they probably would have had him if there was a pinfall come down and try to count again.
Well, the only thing that I'm going to say about the ref situation is that if you really look at the rest of the show, if you're a referee, do you want to battle against a fucking volcano and what the Decay was doing later?
No.
No. You know what I mean? So let's get right to the Apocalypto. Now, let me just say this one beef before I go in. If you're a DCC fan, the Apocalypto sucked.
Agreed.
If you're not a fan of any of the groups and just a fan of wrestling, you could enjoy it. If you were a Decay fan or a Hardy fan, you love this shit. You know, it was definitely way more tailored to the Hardys and Decay, like it has been all year, you know, with that bad booking Billy done. But I ain't gonna front though. The Apocalypto felt more like fucking Mortal Kombat.
Agreed.
You know, that whole like the Decay enters Apocalypto, the Hardys enter Apocalypto. You know, that shit was awesome. You know, I was like, oh, this is fucking dope. So, you know, then you had a whole bunch of like indie guys at the gate. You know, they're kind of talking shit. You have what the fuck was his name? Oh man. Oh, the Helms Dynasty. You had the Helms Dynasty. They jump off. They're fighting the Hardys like pretty much. I don't know what looked like out. I don't know if you would call it a bodega in Cameron, North Carolina. I don't know if that's what they do, but we from New York, and it looked like a little spot you can get Phillies and 40s next to. So it looked like a bodega, but I don't know. I don't know what they call it out there. But they're fighting them. The Decay, you have Crazy Steve literally killing somebody on national TV, breaking his neck. Then you had Abyss taking like some big boulder-looking thing, crushing somebody's skull. Like all that was missing was the red words "fatality" on the screen. You know what I mean? Like finish him. You know, that's what it should have said. That would have been fucking awesome.
Hadouken.
No, Hadouken is Street Fighter. You know, you had the only thing that a lot of people don't know, and I know that the doc is too young to know what the 3 count is, where you had the Helms Dynasty dancing with Sugar Shane Helms. You know, I thought it was okay. It was kind of like a nice little plug to the throwback days. Watching Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett super kick the shit out of Sugar Shane Helms into the Lake of Regeneration or Reincarnation or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't even remember right now.
Carnation.
You had now Spud got me. I won't lie, and I know I'm jumping all over the place because I'm not really going to talk about moves because it was a massive little war. Spud goes on Twitter and he's like, I got the big guy coming. And I'm like, oh shit, Ryback's going to be his fucking tag team partner. You know, when he sees Decay and he's like, oh, he's coming. He's here. He's here. And I'm like, oh, this big son of a bitch is about to start wrecking havoc. And then fucking Hornswoggle comes and I'm like, what the fuck is Hornswoggle doing here? You know, it was cool that I actually got to hear his voice and him not going, you know, like he did in the fucking PGE. So I thought it was cool. You know, I was surprised. I know that he was signed to GFW, even though we know GFW isn't a real thing. So that was pretty cool. The Bravado Brothers, you know, they were there. Now I'm hoping the Bravado Brothers are signed to TNA because I know that the Tribunal is no longer signed with them. They had issues with, you know, one being in Paris, one being in Canada, whatever was whatever, but they're not. They're no longer with TNA. I wish them the best of luck. From what I heard, people saying they might, you know, do appearances, and I love the Tribunal, so I hope so. But the Bravado Brothers look really good. I mean, they looked really good in this showing. You also had the Rock and Roll Old Man AARP team, which I like. Honestly, I don't want to hate on them because these guys they did their best, and I appreciate the fact that even at that age, these guys were ready to perform, and they fucking did perform. So you know, more power to them. Even though I felt like this was a little suspect here. When the cranes had went up and Jeff Hardy swanton, I was like, oh my god, if he fucking hits this old guy, he's gonna cripple this guy. He's already crippled. And why you keep laughing, man? So
I'm not. When I saw him, I was like, watch him miss, because that's always happening. He either hits the mark right on, and that would have been really scary for that old dude, or he's gonna hurt himself.
yo, if he would have hit him, all you would have saw was fucking lights from paramedics and all types of shit. Matter of fact, if you really think about it, Jeff and Matt Hardy could go to jail for being elderly people. You know what I mean? Like they were beating the snot out of old men. You know what I mean? Like they could go to jail for that. That's you don't harm senior citizens. So you know, then it goes. You got that what was it? Hornswoggle and Spud. They kind of crept back in because the Helms Dynasty and the Bravado Brothers. They had their little thing. They got back into the Dome of Deletion. They're all fighting. Next thing you see Spud and Hornswoggle, they're looking around like, hey, yo, there they go. You know, they laid out in the ring. So they go doing the creep in there. You know, you West Coast guys know what the creep is. They're doing the creep. And Spud keeps patting this little fucker on the head. And, you know, Hornswoggle's like, yo, stop touching my head, my dude. Like, I'm about to, you know, bust you in your snot box. Stop touching me. You know, Spud keeps punking him. This little dude decides Hornswoggle. I don't know if his name will be Hornswoggle if he's in TNA. He takes a chair. He starts walloping everybody. Spud tosses him out the way. He pins him. Hornswoggle, like, consider that a jackknife powerbomb off the top, Doc?
Yeah, you could consider that.
Like he scudded him, you know. So he puts him down. He does the what did he call that move in the E? The Hornswoggle splash or some shit like that.
I believe it was the Woggle Splash.
It was either that or like the tadpole or something like that. I don't really remember.
No, that was the name. That's the name of the original move. His thing was the Swoggle Splash.
Well, no, isn't it called the frog splash? That's why I thought it was like a tadpole or something like that.
No, RVD's move is technically the original frog splash.
Okay. So they're going at it. You know, then he takes out Spud. He tells, I think it was Trevor Lee's like, there you go, boys. They pin Spud. Spud gets eliminated. The Hardys go back to the Hardys. They wind up pinning the old man, and they push the crane all the way to the top. Like this old man is like petrified. You know, his dependents probably got shit in him. He's like, look, you fucking broken bastards. You know, all this other shit. Animal from the Road Warriors comes up. Now, he didn't wrestle, but anytime you can have a Road Warrior on your show, it's a special thing. It definitely went back to my childhood. I appreciated it. Damn, my notes are all jumbled because I just got kind of like Where the fuck is my Decay coming now? DCC. So fuck everything. I'm gonna go right to the DCC because that's what pissed me off. DCC enters. It looks badass. Storm comes up. Abyss is like, oh look, it's only one of them. 8 motherfuckers, 9 dudes, whatever it is. They come walking up to the pearly gates like, yo, we about to get it in and on and popping. I'm like, oh, it's about to be some warrior shit. Like, come out to play. You know, they come in. They start beating up on Abyss. Abyss just like big shows them. They all fall to the floor like fucking suckers. A guy comes out of left field. He's like, DCC for life, blah, blah, blah. Storm's like, who the fuck is this guy? He pulls the mask off. A lot of people don't know who Tony the merch guy is. That's Tony the merch guy. Tony, show love to Tony, man. So Tony the merch guy, obviously them stealing his truck, he got upset.
No, leaving him naked, then beating him up again, almost killing him the second time.
So all of a sudden he goes from some redneck truck driver, then to the Great War, where I think Rosemary even spit mist in his face.
Mm-hmm.
Getting knuckled down. Then he joins Decay, DCC vicariously because he's not a DCC member. Storm is looking like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? I think Abyss punches him, knocks him the fuck out when he does the too sweet sign, like DCC for, and he was going to say for life, like the NWO. Gets his snot block rocks, its lights out, gets pinned, and fucking DCC's eliminated. What the fuck happened here? And I know.
All I say is James Storms' reaction was pretty much the same one I had. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's not what? How does that even work?
Yeah, and I like the fact that
I believe that they basically said if you have a mask, then well, you're DCC.
Oh, all right. So if I come in and I'm rocking one of those dumbass, like, gothic capes that the Hardys wear, I'm part of the Hardys.
Yep, pretty much. That's how it works.
But it couldn't work that
hold on.
As long as you can kind of pull off a twist of fate, I think you're good.
Well, first off, I know you people don't know the price of the wardrobe that Matt Hardy wears, but his pants are like $4,500. That's just his pants. His robe is more expensive. Like it's my homegirl Christy, and let me just say, much love to Christy, Brian, Nessa, Brittany. Those are my TNA family people. I had said, man, those robes are fucking ugly as fuck. And she literally grabbed her phone and showed me on the internet what the brand is and how much things were costing. And I was like, holy shit, I will never call them joints ugly again for the price that you pay for them. So anyways, so my DCC gets fucking robbed. Robbed. James Storm fucking super kicks the shit out of Tony. Now, Tony, I'm going to tell you this way. When I see you, brother, I'm going to have something to say because I appreciate you fucking with my TNA merch, my DCC guys. That wasn't cool, Tony. So anyways, the volcano erupts, which was sending, Bobby Lashley and Eddie Edwards. Once again, they were just randomly all over the place. It erupts. Guys go falling all over the place. The Vanguard won, and Abyss, I don't know if they got that Cali, West Side beef going on because this was a straight shootout. This guy's shooting Roman candles. Vanguard 1 is shooting rockets. Like, they had a standoff. I found it entertaining as fuck. Because Abyss just stood there. And this fucking thing was shooting rockets. And he was just chilling. Like, I thought it was hilarious.
I thought it was hilarious if this got hit in the back with one.
Yeah, that didn't look like it tickled. So, and I'm gonna, like I said, I'll make this short because I got really bummed out with little they did at DCC and how awesome. And I mean, it's like I said, I'm not hating. If you're a Decay fan, this was fucking awesome because Decay looks so strong. And obviously this was tailored around the Hardys. I enjoyed the fact that the Helms Dynasty finally got some kind of push because this was a really nice segment for them and it was a really good look. But, it bothered me for the DCC thing. So, the Helms Dynasty, they're like, oh, we're going to freaking delete Matt. They got these shovels and they look like they're about to batter this guy. and all of a sudden, the Hurricane Shane Helms turns his back on the tag team that he brought in, his boys. Turns his back. They take them out. They throw a Triple H reference like, "Hey, look, it doesn't take three H's to bury a young promising talent or whatever." That was a straight shot at Triple H. Like, you're not the only ones who could fucking bury talent. Thought it was funny, whatever. Um, the Hardy Flame, that flame symbol that Vanguard One shot that rocket and made it go on fire, and they had that sick fucking Hardy logo. I love Jeff Hardy symbol. I like Jeff Hardy. I like Matt Hardy for many years, but that logo on fire kind of reminded me of when the Crow and the first Crow did it. I thought that was sick. Matt Hardy hits Abyss with Janice. Crazy Steve gets Twisted Faded into the volcano. The volcano spits out Crazy Steve. He lands dead in the ring. Matt pins Crazy Steve. Your winners, still champions, the Broken Hardys. I will say this: it was kind of a cool little spot to say that Crazy Steve got sent to hell and hell spit him back out. I will say that. I think that was kind of the play on it. I thought it was really, really, really well done. Like I said, I as a DCC fan, the big homies in the DCC, so I felt a certain way about it. But much kudos. It was a really good show. They could have just did something way better with DCC. And I know what people are going to say. They did the way they did to them so they could defend DCC and not make them look weak. Makes sense. But I just, as a fan, you want to see your guy do work. First Lady, if you want to break down the Apocalypto in your mind, shoot it off, baby.
I think it was really well. The same way Great War was. I think they were similar. I agree that as much as I don't like Decay, they did look really strong. I'd like not to see another match at the Hardy compound for a while. DCC got played. I think they could have done something a lot different with DCC there, and it would have been actually really cool, with the whole mask and coming out the woods and stuff like that, but they missed the mark on that one. I mean, it was done well. To me, it seemed like a giant brawl. Like, everywhere you turn, there was another match going on. And the dancing Helms was funny. Though, what about them, like, hitting the boat? That was pretty stupid.
Oh, beat the boat's ass. Well, if you want to say they could beat the boat's stern.
Like, it was like, what? Stupid. Okay. But other than that, I thought it was really good. I think they played things up pretty well. They could have done better on some aspects of it. But, again, it's bookings and stuff. And I hope not to see these same matches again next week, just in the Impact Zone.
As of next week, I think you're going to get 2 weeks of the best of 2016. I think all the matches are already done.
Okay. Well, you know what I mean. Like, I don't want to have to see them over and over because it's let's see somebody other than Eddie Edwards and Bobby Lashley. I don't like the way they played Bobby Lashley, though. But I think they've created this big juggernaut and then, like, only to have him lose to someone as tiny as freaking Eddie Edwards is very, like, stupid. And then just to keep going with it is stupid. You mean to tell me Eddie Edwards is going to beat all these guys coming up? Stop it. Move on.
Oh, you know what? Because we haven't did it, and Doc, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but how did you feel about that? Because I know you're, like, the biggest EC3 fan.
I'm, like, the hugest EC3 fan. My kid is, like, even a bigger EC3 fan. I think it's fucking whack. And I don't get me started on how I think that they're fucking with EC3.
Go ahead, preach.
I don't care. This isn't like Tna Mafia First Lady rant now, and it's not gonna happen. But I think that EC3 pulled people on his back, and now they just keep jumping on his back. And they just, if he's supposed to be the face of the company, like, can we get somewhere with him? Why wasn't he even there?
what you're saying with that one, what was he really going to do? You know, this whole total nonstop deletion when you, for like 3 weeks, promoted Bobby Lashley versus Eddie Edwards for the fifth time. You didn't have an X Division match at all, so you couldn't put Easter against any X Division star. And I doubt anyone really is going to team up with EC3, considering the fact he's on this quest to be the world champion mode again, or still has been. So
they need to do something there. You know what? Like Eddie Edwards, your time is about done.
Well, Doc, easily Moose could have been his tag team partner because if you don't remember, recently he had called to Moose to help him fight against Lashley and who was it? I think it was Lashley, Eli Drake,
Mike Bennett.
Oh, Mike Bennett. There you go. And you know he could have went to him.
But the thing with that is when Moose has a problem with both men, it's a win-win situation for the ass-kicking machine and Moose.
Okay. So, anyways, you break down how you felt about the Apocalypto, and then maybe we'll chime in on some things moving forward.
I overall thought it was probably one of the best matches in TNA's 2016. I love the fact that there was all-around battles. I love the fact that it went from one match to the next match to the next match. I love that it wasn't focused on just one single group. I like the fact you have Mr. Steve cracking people's necks, and I love the fact you have the old, as you called AARP, old men doing crazy things, is fighting the broken Brother Nero on what are those things?
Well, technically, it was not Brother Nero because it was Jeff Hardy.
All right. Well, what do you call those big things that they were fighting on?
The cranes.
The cranes. All right. Yeah, I love the fact that they were fighting on the cranes. I love the fact that the old rocker was winning at one point. I think that they put out the best that they could. Jeff Hardy at the Swantons. I'm a guy who loves high risk things, so of course I enjoy Jeff Hardy going through the air. I love the whole thing between the two brothers and the Helms dynasty. The only thing I really didn't care for actually was Shane Helms the entire time. I did not care about Shane Helms or what he was doing.
Okay.
What do you think about the Bravado brothers?
I feel that TNA should actually sign them in for a contract. I actually want to see more of them. I thought they were very interesting and they had a cool character to them.
You know what I thought was one of the funniest parts of the show is when Crazy Steve broke his neck. And I don't know the guy's name behind him because I forgot his name actually. But he was like, "Oh, he dead," and the other guy was like, "Oh yeah, he killed him."
I think those were like the reporters.
No, definitely not. Those are independent guys. I know who they are, just can't remember their names. But if 2017, what do you guys want from TNA? And I'm gonna start with first you, Doc. Let me know what you want 2017 to start with.
I would definitely have to say how I believe 2015 started, where you saw Bobby Lashley versus Bobby Roode, and you saw Eric Young turn heel. I definitely feel that EC3 should turn heel. I feel that there should be a world title match between Bobby Lashley, or maybe even actually no, I'm gonna say that there should be a world title match, and if I feel that it should be either James Storm or maybe Drew Galloway, someone very high up there that's not the Hardys or the Decay at this point. And I feel that EC3 should come down and interfere in the match, somewhere similar to what EY did. And towards the X Division, I feel that Mark Andrews, like similar to how they did in 2015, is where Mark Andrews would legitimately defeat DJZ, and I would love to see it via roll-up or submission. As for the tag champs, we really can't do much about that. I'm okay with the Hardys being champs, even though I'd like to see the DCC as champs, or even maybe some Grado and Robbie E if they're still doing their thing.
Get the fuck out of here.
And for the knockouts, I'm okay with Rosemary being champion. I'm okay with it. So, yeah.
Well, you're okay with Rosemary being the champ because you're a Decay guy.
It's not as much. I'm a Decay fan. I just like the emo aspect of it, as they say, or the gothic aspect, not emo, gothic.
Well, the one thing I'm going to say, and I like Rosemary because she can actually put that work in. I'm not a Decay fan. Everybody knows that. I respect the shit out of Rosemary. I think Rosemary's a fucking beast. But I just didn't like the fact that she kind of just came out, beat up on Gail and Jade, and automatically was like the number one contender with Jade for a belt. Like you didn't do shit. You know, how did you just climb your way to the top when you haven't done a fucking thing? And this is part of the booking situation why I say that this guy's not as great as everyone keeps saying. His booking was fucking horrible. Now these two women did put on a fucking hell of a match, but all in all, like I don't think Rosemary should have been shot put it to the top just cause.
But
But as a champ, I got no problem with her as a champ because she's a good fucking look with that belt on.
see, I'm actually going to agree with you there. See, my thing is that when she struggled against the Madison Reigns and stuff, to see her put on such a great match, I feel that she should have kind of worked their way up to it and got better progressively. And they should, like, similar how they're doing with Allie, but similar, got progressively better and tougher and stronger as the weeks went on for about a month or two, and then have that Jade versus Rosemary steel cage match.
Okay. Now you gotten pretty much all the belts. Oh no, you didn't throw your grand champion. And then after you're done with your grand champion, we can let the first lady speak.
Uh, the grand champion, I'm not. I'm be honest with you guys. I don't care about the grand championship belt. I kind of want to see the King of the Mountain belt back, so I wouldn't mind if they put that belt, burn it to the side or something. But as I don't really care for Aaron Rex having it, I'm okay with Moose having it. I feel that Moose really shouldn't be champion. Again, I'd be okay with like a Drew Galloway or Jesse Goddard's, someone who really doesn't get a lot of TV time. And I feel that that belt should be a belt that people progressively who are like at the bottom of the level should get that belt. So I'd say anyone that's not really on TV that's been pushed to the side.
Okay. First lady, what you got for 2017?
I hope they get rid of the grand champion belt. I think it's fucking waste of time. That's like the bathroom match. I couldn't be bothered. It's like something
All right,
happens, okay, boom, whatever. Anyway, Jade for champ.
well,
Jade for champ. You know what? She was champ once. They didn't push her the way they were supposed to.
She never got a rematch either.
She didn't get her rematch. She didn't get her push. Nothing. It was all about Gail Kim, Maria, Gail Kim, Maria, Gail Kim, Maria. Nobody cares. Give Jade the push she's supposed to get. She is better than Rosemary.
Well, hold on there. When you say nobody cares about
talk, I gave you your time to talk. We'll agree to disagree. Let my blue-haired champion go. I definitely want to see EC3 get somewhere because it's getting kind of boring watching him lose so much. I'd like to see Moose get somewhere because I don't care what you think. He's a good wrestler and he's really got crowd motivation happening. I mean, he's starting to get back a lot. Jesse Goddard, what's up with that? He definitely needs his push. Let him get somewhere. I'm tired of the Hardys. Somebody else needs to come up in tag teams there.
well, who would you like as the tag team champs?
DCC.
Okay.
I'll take it. I'd love to see Bram get a belt. Bram and James Storm.
No, hold on. I'll let you go with that. Your grand champion, you have to select someone now. If you want Moose to keep the belt, because Moose is the champ, because I know you said you want Moose to get a push, so he is the present champion right now. So do you want to see him keep it for a while?
You can keep it.
Okay. You got your knockout, you got your tag, you got your grands. X Division, who do you want?
DJZ's got to bounce because he's pretty dumb. I'd like to see, like, I don't know, somebody like Mandrews just come and whoop his ass.
Okay. And your heavyweight champion?
No contest. EC3.
All right. This is how I feel.
I'll even take like Eli Drake.
Okay, you're gonna have a lot of love with that one because the people love Eli Drake.
I mean, I think could his wrestling be a little better? Probably, but I think he has what it takes to actually be the front man.
Absolutely.
Like, just thinking like business wise, that'd be a smart move. Run with it.
Now, what I'm gonna say, and I know this is gonna sound really homerish, and I don't give a fuck who had the problem with it. For the heavyweight champion, I want James Storm because he is getting up there in age. I love James Storm. He needs a title. He needs the heavyweight champion. He needs to have a real title reign. I would love to see. Now, this is what I want in a pay per view. I want Bram and Eddie Kingston to, and I've said this on Twitter a million times, so I don't care who's listening and who could steal the idea. I don't give a shit. I want Bram and Eddie Kingston to beat the Hardys and become tag champs. But now I want it done in a certain way. Like I want them to be fighting, and I want a DCC member to come out the crowd. Now Storm will already be out there. Like say he's at the top of the ramp and he's just watching his boys fight. So this fourth member will come out of nowhere and kind of just either distract or pull someone down, and they get the pin, the pinfall that way. And then that DCC member jumps back into the crowd, and Storm is looking like, who the fuck is that? Then I want Mandrews to win the belt. But I want him to be fighting DJZ. And once again, a DCC member comes out, helps him wins. Now just one, jumps back into the crowd. So Mandrews wins the belt. The only thing that my theory might not work is I said I want two women in the DCC. And it only needs to be one. So it's either or. I want Jade in the DCC only because her man is Eddie Kingston. And I think that's a really awesome thing if they could both be together wrestling, because they have wrestling experience with each other and against each other. So I want Jade to be fighting and, just win. I don't care if it's Rosemary, Sienna, whoever. And at the end of the night, James Storm is fighting, let's just say Eddie Edwards, let's say EC3, whoever it is, Eli Drake. James Storm has his two guys by ringside, and, he wins flat out. I don't want James Storm to win because of Bram or Kingston. So these two guys will sit there, and they'll have the belts. They're ready to celebrate. All of a sudden, one of the DCC people come walking down the ramp. The other one comes out the crowd. And when they go into the ring, the other three, the three DCC members are looking like, what the fuck is going on? The other two will sit there, and they'll unmask. And it'll be Jade and Mandrews or Rebel and Mandrews. And, at that point, they can have, like, the belts tucked under their shirts, pick their shirts up just a little bit, and you have every belt in the DCC.
All right, that's believable. Concerning to what you're saying about the two, I really personally feel that TNA should bring back that Divas tag, Knockouts tag team division.
There's not enough knockouts.
What do you mean it's not enough knockouts? Same how they had that one night only knockouts. Tell me you can't hire like 4 more?
Well, think about it. Most of those girls like Vita Scott, I think Taylor Hendricks was there, Leva Bates. They're not going to sign all those women, and they can't sign because I know Taylor Hendricks is part of this, and I think she was there.
You don't need to. With the UK scene right now going as great as it is, and their women's division going as great as it is, you got people like from Worlds. I'm going to throw out like Nixon Newell from there. I'm going to throw out Kaylee Ray from here, who, if you don't know who that is, all you got to do is check my profile picture. She's on there. So, yeah.
Well, the only thing I'm going to say with Kaylee Ray, she did that British boot camp.
Good point.
And she has a little feel with TNA, you know what I mean? But remember, Kaylee Ray also can't act the way she does in the Impact Zone. She can't just be coming out, flipping people the bird, like, fuck you, Kaylee Ray's a hardcore bitch. What's her name again? The Queen of Hardcore?
Yep.
She can't be that in the Impact Zone. You can't do that over here.
Right.
But she's official. But my thing with what the DCC stands for is people that get swept under the rug or people that are looked over. Rebel or Marty Bell would be that perfect woman for it. Like I said, I want Jade because Jade's official, but Marty Bell or Rebel would be the perfect female for that movement. Espérate.
Oh, please don't get started with Marty Bell. She already don't like me on Twitter.
She's honestly, and I know that I know Doc has met her. She's really nice.
Oh yeah, she's one of the sweetest people I think I've ever met in my life.
So we did what we want for 2017. First Lady, do you want to shout anybody out?
No, I'm good.
Oh, fuck everybody. Okay. Doc, do you want to give a special
We're
shout out?
online together. You know, we got to shout out Mom Dukes, though.
Mom Dukes, Mad Mom, baby.
Holding it
Um,
while the little minion's screaming, so.
Well, what I do want from Doc, I want you to plug your Facebook page, your Twitter handle, your YouTube page.
Alrighty. Basically, what that is, you can definitely follow me on Facebook at ICW Off the Hook Podcast on our Facebook page. Certainly follow us on our YouTube page at ICW Off the Hook Podcast on YouTube. And definitely follow me on Twitter, where if you haven't seen recently today, I've been active on there completely with a bunch of marks as well. So definitely follow me at ICW OTH Podcast, where you hear live and off the hook sayings from me.
All right. Now, remember I said I had to do a few shout outs before I get off. I got to do one for the S&M show. I got to do one for my man Sportsfan 77. Definitely my man Mike Burley, MJ Cool Beans. Check him out. I got all this on my Tna Mafia Facebook page. My man Always Art. Now I'm gonna go into if I left you off of Twitter, my fault. Hit me up and let me know I fucked up. But definitely, I gotta throw this out there because I fuck around a lot. I talk a lot of shit with people. My man Anir, I'm always going at it. You know, he's a cool fucking dude. Let me just show love to the Heel Team 6. My brothers, my sisters, my family, and the Impact. Let me start off with my man Brent. That's my big brother. My man Kaz, the big homie. Chase, the man who invented the name, the Heel Team 6, the guy who started the movement, my man Chase. Teresa, the first lady of Heel Team 6 is, oh my God, I just had a brain fart. It's not Brandy, and she's going to kill me for doing this right now. I'm going to come back to it. I'm so sorry. But, no, as a matter of fact, somebody talk so I could just find her name on here because I got a brain fart.
As if you need to ask somebody to talk. Go ahead, Doc.
All right. See, if there's one person I do actually want to shout out, it's the ICW cameraman. You were awesome. You were my first ever follower on Twitter, and I thank you very much for that. You are awesome, and you're one hell of a cameraman. Keep up the great work.
Okay, my fault. I got it. It's my homegirl Lindsay, and that's my bad. I fucked that one up. Steven, you're mad cool. Who am I missing? I know I got like so many names of people that I talked to in the Impact Zone.
Don't forget Rodney.
Oh, Rodney. Let me tell you. At RH Art Co. That's at RHARTCO. That is the dopest artist in the game right now. He's got the dopest shirts. He's putting out the most work for TNA talent, independent talent like Sue Young. He's done WWE guy shirts. If you want something done, that is the baddest motherfucker to get something done by. Rodney's my guy. That's my brother for real. I was gonna say somebody else, and Doc fucked me up. Shit, man, there's so many fucking names of people that I deal with that it's crazy. Definitely my brother in arms, Karma. I know I shouted him out. I can never say enough. That's the homie for day one. Let me just say much love to Bob, and I don't need to throw a last name out there because we have some funny-ass conversations. And, of course, the big homie Brand, much love, baby. Keep doing your thing. Keep kicking ass. The king of all that's evil, the Chesterfield Plague, the king of hardcore. See you in a few days, brother. Doc, are you done? Because I think we're about done.
Do you mind if I promote my next show?
Am I going to be on it?
I would hope so.
All right, so promote it, brother.
All righty. For the last ever ICW Fight Club of 2016, you will definitely see me along with my co-host, my colleague, at the Chef TNA, and we're gonna go down and go through the run-through of definitely the ICW World Heavyweight Championship match. That was probably one of the most flawless matches of the year for ICW. The current reigning defending champion Wolfgang, for the last King of Scotland, Wolfgang, versus the leader of the Filthy Generation, Stevie Boy, along with a whole lot more. And I know one of your guys, Lewis Gervin, versus Andy Wild in a number one contendership match for the zero G title, along with Polo Promotions versus Bird and Boar for the ICW Tag Team Championships. Much more to come. Stay tuned Saturday night for that.
Yo, First Lady, did you just see how animated he got for that shit?
I'm saying it was the first time I seen him get excited about anything in a long time.
Yo, he just literally was like, this match was great. The Decay was killing people.
I know, he went from monotone to, a champion. Rah, 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 rah.
Yeah, that was crazy right there. Now, I only got 2 more shout-outs. My man Trent from Chicago. I'll see you in a few days. I know you're flying down. And most definitely, the dopest photographer in the game, my homegirl Kathy. Y'all know who it is. Blonde Bombshell Productions, photography, or whatever you want to name it. She's the baddest chick in the game right now. And the 2 British people that I met at the Impact Zone for the last tapings that we talked about all types of cooking and we had some fun and we were dissing the good guys. Heel Team 6, baby. You're always down with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we're off of this bitch. We're going to holler at you next time. Probably 2017 because we're not going to do some fucking show that we've seen all year. This is the first. Volume 2 will be coming soon. Peace, love, and hair grease, baby.
Peace out.